Hello and welcome to the penultimate round of the championship in the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup. We are at Road America for our final elimination heat format event of the season, and it is tightening up in the championships, with the teams championship and the pro-ams well alive, with just 5 races of the season remaining. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me is Aaron Smith with Joshua Wilkie, bringing you this stream on Apex Racing TV. Aaron, fantastic to be back again, and fantastic to be here at this circuit. It is a top 5 world circuit, this one, without question. It is fantastic, and I think after maybe some slight subdued racing at Sebring last time out, where overtaking was tricky, tonight we should see it much more possible on this Elkhart Lake circuit.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there on it being one of the top 5 circuits in the world. It's an absolute joy to drive. Really, really good for racing, especially those first 5 corners. They are absolutely iconic in most of American racing, IMSA, IndyCar, throughout the last, I'd say, few decades. It's just been absolutely spectacular, both on the sim and in real life. And like you said, today, I don't think is going to be at all any different. It's Porsche Cup. It's been fantastic racing for most of the season. Just a couple blips here and there. I think Aragon and, as you mentioned, Sebring were just a little bit tricky. Sebring, just like you said, just because there's not really that many overtaking opportunities. But it was entertaining for other reasons. But today it's going to be slipstreaming, and more slipstreaming. People trying to break the toe. People maybe taking a bit more risks to try and do that. And the battle at the front is going to be entertaining, but I think the battle you and I are most interested in is for the Pro-Am victory.
Exactly, and we can go through the championship standings, I believe. And in the pros, Gabriel Salomon is still at the head of that, and he may have already won the championship. Like, he's way clear of the rest. There is a drop score, and therefore you can win the championship quite early. I think he does need to score a few points today in order to win the championship, but he's there pretty much. The battle for second could still be tight though, in order being caught by an informed Christiansen. Thompson there in 4th place, who I think is low on prep, and Godestad in 5th. But like you said, Aaron, it's the Pro-Ams which is the interesting one, and Igor Koss and Luke Pennington have both had difficult rounds recently, but going into this round is Koss, who is still 3 points ahead. Pennington did catch up a fair amount last time out though, Aaron, and it really 3 points in it, that's pretty much dead level. It's a 2-race showdown between the two of them.
Yeah, it was looking all over for Pennington at the start of that A final. He had such a really difficult start to his day, but that incident with Igor Koss at the start of that last race just completely flipped everything on its head. Koss, I think, managed to pull it back a little bit at the end, with Pennington just slipping back a few places, but either way, it's 3 points that separate them now. And we know Pennington probably has the most outright pace, but can often be a little bit hot-headed, can make a few mistakes, and Koss is just really consistent. And last week just got really unlucky, but it makes for an entertaining battle, so I'm not complaining at all. It's going to be fantastic to watch for these last few rounds, and I really do hope that it doesn't end today and they both have good races and we go level points into next week. That 60-minute race at Imola is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it'll be easier for us to work out as well who wins the championship if they go into that round level points. So fingers crossed for that one. They are top 2 in the qualifying at the moment, are those two drivers. In the amateurs, Gordon Marshall miles ahead as well. Look at that, 80 points. Clay's been a fantastic driver so far this season, as Marshall beating all the Norwegians who he has had to come up against. And I think we might be able to show the teams championship as well, because that one is very close at the moment between 3 teams at the top of the standings, and that's currently Valkyrie Excite, who have been in terrific form with Godestad and Christiansen. They've been able to overtake Impulse Racing and Outson Motorsport Black in the teams championship. So watch out for Godestad, Christiansen, Nolder, Hammer, Salomon and Pedersen to try to win that teams championship.
Yeah, we've seen how good Valkyrie X-Up have been over the past few rounds, especially in these qualifying sessions. Their teamwork has been absolutely outstanding, and it kind of started at Spa, where they just hooked it up really, really nicely, and both managed to out-qualify Salomon in the end. And I think last week as well, they were really, really good. They were up there again, got pole. And yeah, Salomon has been... He's had a couple opportunities in the races to overtake, and unfortunately at Spa did lose out in the end to Christensen, but got a little bit of revenge last week and managed to hold on to get another victory for the first time in a few races. So he's up there at the moment in third, but he's just doing a couple prep laps at the moment, which we've seen these pro drivers do a couple times this season, as these tyres are known for overheating fairly quickly. You just got to get them in that right window for a full push lap. He's got Michael Yanni, I believe, on a push lap behind him, just coming through now. And it's going to be... we're going to keep an eye on some of the Apex cars. They've just had a tough few rounds. Michael Yanni, I don't believe, was at Sebring. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, but
he was not.
I was correct. Wow, I got a piece of information right. But Balicki and I think Thompson as well just had a not the easiest time. I think Thompson had a much better time than Balicki did, but yeah, it's gonna be good to see the Apex cars back on form hopefully here today.
Yeah, Balicki collided with Madsen in the A final. Madsen did receive a penalty for that, so that was why he finished far down. Thompson had good pace, but had a bit of an underwhelming qualifying, so had a lot of catching up to do. Yanni using all the track. It is so fun, is this circuit. I wouldn't say it's necessarily great for Porsche Cup. I think it's better in like a high-performance prototype or maybe a single-seater, but it is still satisfying, whatever you drive. As they go into Bill Mitchell Bend. And Yanni just with a little bit of opposite lock, but I mean, it looks like a very nice lap, honestly. And the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup coach comes round the final corner, and he will approach the line. He's also a former champion, of course, of this series as well. He has got a 2-minute 6.73 to beat, but he can't do it. He's 2/10 short of Luke Pennington, who is on course right now for his second pole position of the season.
Yeah, I've mentioned this at the start. Luke has got he's got that dog in him. He can just occasionally just pull out this amazing lap time, and wow, he's 2/10 ahead of any other pros right now. And don't forget Koss as well, who's still in third as well. I know some of these pros have still got one more lap to go, but I think honestly, Pennington in the end, I don't know if I want to gamble and say he will get pole yet, because there is some other drivers yet to come. Of course, Salomon, and a couple other of the Utzon Motorsport cars. Of course, the Valkyrie Excite cars, who are just absolute gods in qualifying recently. We just don't know. A lot of them seem to be playing the slipstream tactic right now. It's Road America. I can't say I'm surprised at all. And yeah, like you said, Sam, as well, I do believe that this is a track that is really good for those higher downforce cars. Formula 3 was always one of my favorite combos, just Road America and Formula 3. The IGP Fun World Cup was held here as well. England did sort of well that race. I think we were third overall. I think Italy ended up winning, which is a bit unfortunate. We'll come back next year and try to win the F3 World Cup, but I'm really looking forward to the Road America 500, honestly. I didn't do it last year, and I was really sad. And I'm going to make it my mission to do it this year, because driving though either the Nissan or the Audi round here, just thinking about it is an absolutely amazing combination.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I think that is an event I have been sleeping on, and I should sign up myself actually when that comes around. I'm going to try to do a few more of the special events, such as Indy and Daytona this year. Christiansen, currently in 8th place. He's got a bit of a draft from his teammate Godestad up ahead, but he's got a lot of catching up to do when it comes to the times. However, I'm not sure if this is a push lap, because he hasn't set any personal best sectors. So I think, well, and of course the time runs out at 32 minutes. So I don't think this is going to be Christiansen going up any places. He will remain in 8th place, and the Valkyrie guys who have got the last 2 pole positions only down in 7th and 8th. Meanwhile, Salomon goes to the top of the standings. He is 300ths clear of the rest of the field. That is an excellent lap there from our championship leader. And, you know, we said this last time out, he hasn't been the best driver in qualifying, but tonight he's delivered.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just watching his final few sectors, and I noticed the third and fourth sectors were really, really good. He hooked them up really nicely. He was a tenth faster than Pennington in that fourth sector. Everywhere else, though, Pennington seemed to have the advantage more or
Mm.
less. So especially in those first sectors as well. I don't know if Pennington got a slipstream. I'm gonna guess he did, considering that that's kind of the way you end up on the top here. But yeah, disappointing qualifying for the Valkyrie cars as well. I think they were 7th and 8th in the end compared to their last few rounds. That's got to be disappointing for them.
Yeah, I think there's different preparation levels as well for this round. Some people would have just been driving Daytona for the past week, and some drivers may have been able to get a little bit of prep on this circuit. So yeah, I think that could well be a reason for it, that there just has not been the practice being able to put in. Let's have a look then at our Heat 1 grid for this race. Fortunately, we have got a standing start last time. League admins have sorted themselves out. Gabriel Salomon is on pole position alongside Michael Yanni. Igor Kos in a strong third place in Heat 1. Yes, Pennington will be on pole position for Heat 2, but Heat 1's a slight advantage because it gives yourself a chance at getting on the pole position come the A final, so that's not a bad place for Kos. Goodestead lines up in 4th place, Marshall with a terrific qualifying up in 5th, ahead of Pedersen and Balicki. Then it's Dimbilau on his debut, or his second race, I believe. Koopmans, Palomino, Bjorklund, Quattrup, Wedderburn, Wolfson and Jensen. The top 8 advance from this Heat 1.
I think about the sort of Heat 1, Heat 2 advantage. I mean, obviously, it is better to be in Heat 1. As you said, you get to start ahead of whoever finishes in the same position in the second heat. So, but pole position is pole position. So it is a gamble as well. A track like this, where those first few corners, especially turn 1, is going to be chaotic. But if he can get a bit lucky, Pennington, and just break away in those first few corners while P2 and P3 go to battle, he could end up getting a first overall victory of the season.
He could well do. Let's see what Salomon can do. We're going to find out in 12 minutes time who our A final pole sitter is going to be. And Salomon is putting himself in a good position for that. The driver's already in single file for the top 4 places at least. Lewis Balicki's got a good start. He's up 1 place. Yanni trying to put a bit of pressure on our pole sitter heading into T1, but he's willing to back out of it quickly. Balicki has got past Pedersen, so a good start there for the Apex Racing Academy driver. But the top 5 all looking in the same order, but there goes wide Gordon Marshall, and he's going to leak a couple of places, and heading into turn 5, he may well lose a few more.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Those first few corners, really, it's one of the most tricky first laps on all of iRacing. It can really catch you out if you're not careful. This is one of the most tricky braking zones as well on that first lap. There's 3 wide in the background as well. Let's hope that everyone can make it through fairly cleanly. But I'm a bit surprised that Michael Yanni wasn't able to get the jump on Salomon at all. But of course, we have to remember how good Salomon can be at defending. But look at this for a midfield battle. They're all going nearly 2 wide. An Utzon car trying to move on through. I believe that's Wolfson going for a move on Bjorklund, who's just tumbling down a little bit. He's got Jensen as well on the back of him. And relatively... Oh, I was just about to say it. I was just about to say relatively cleanly. But unfortunately, Koopmans there just had a spin. And it looks like someone has bumped him up the back there.
Here it was. Is that Quattrup behind him? Ah, no, he lost it by himself. And yeah, Quattrup did give him a bit of a hit though. Shame for Koopmans, who started from the back in the previous race. I think still managed to get into the A final. It was actually one of his best rounds of the season when it came to performance. But there's some quick drivers near the back of the order. Wolfson didn't set a qualifying lap. Neither did Jensen. Jensen was banned from qualifying. I think Wolfson was allowed to qualify, but I may well be wrong on that one. I will check. But they're both trying to get past Quattrup, who seemingly is struggling a bit more than normal, and Quattrup has been overtaken by one of the Utzon drivers.
Yes, but unfortunately there is a bit of a gap between Wolfson and Dimbilau ahead, which is going to be really tricky at a track like this where that slipstream is so important. There's a battle going on for third. This is Goddestad on Kos now. This is bad for Kos. He could lose another position to Balicki behind if he's not careful. But that looked like a fairly clean overtake from Godestad, and he's up to third. But like I said before, that slipstream is just outside that range from Yanni, and he's going to be under pressure and will most likely have to defend. But realistically, if you choose the inside line going into turn 5, it's a high chance that you'll be able to keep the position. You just got to have that driver essence about you, that aura that drivers like Salomon have, who are just able to hold on positions like magic. And here goes Dimbolo ahead of Marshall. Marshall has not had a great start to the race at all, and now is second in AM. And well, Dimbolo, on, I think you're correct in saying this is his debut, as well, he's leading AM, and Marshall's slipping even further back.
Yeah, what's going on with him? He's really slow. That's not a slowdown. I think something might be going on in the real world, like a hardware issue, which is causing him to slip down. He's outside the top 8. The man who's made a residency in the A final so far this season. He's made it almost every single time. I certainly remember him making it in round 1. Was the first man to do it. He's been leading the championship for the whole season, and he will win the championship as well. He doesn't need to do anything special in order to do it. But he is letting go a lot of places. Hopefully he's able to get up to speed. It does look like he's able to now, but he's let past Wilson and Quatchup. Wilson now up 6 places from his very start. He's not going to let that go easy.
No, he will not. But yeah, I'm not... I don't know what happened to Marshall. I mean, I'm just going to predict it was a slowdown, but I mean, I'm just confused where, to be honest.
Oh, maybe he went wide on the entrance to T5. He went really wide, didn't he? Yeah. I think he went so wide he could have picked up a slowdown there.
That would have been really harsh, but yeah, you might be right there actually, and that would
to be
explain
fair, Patrick has just said that in the chat, but genuinely I didn't read that before making that hypothesis.
Well, yeah, I didn't think you could pick up a slowdown from doing that, but yeah, I guess if you do go completely out to the right, then yeah, I guess your track extending a bit too much, but I don't think he was trying that. I think he was just trying to make sure that him and Dimbolo didn't crash into each other. So a bit harsh on that one, but he's going to have to make up a bit more ground as he's now battling with Jensen, and I believe he's collided with Jensen.
And yeah, Marshall's dropped back behind Bjorklund now, his closest rival in the championship. So Marshall, who started in P5, we are going to be able to get a replay of that instance. The top 2 are very close as well. Let's see what happens. So Quatchup's already run wide. They're all lined up behind Quatchup. He's making a few extra corners between T1 and T3. And it's just a little bit of the glue. And Jensen actually with a heavy hit into the wall. He has had to tow back to the pits. He will also be starting in penultimate position in the B final. Marshall since then actually has been able to get Marshall's back up to 9th now. Has he been able to do that?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a mistake from Quatchup. Bjorklund he managed to get past. Palomino's got past Bjorklund as well.
Yeah, Quatchup, Bjorklund and Palomino must have all crashed into one another.
Yeah. Bit of a weird one there, but he's up to 9th. He has got 4 seconds ahead of him though, which is not ideal. Here's what happened. This is him side by side.
Bjorklund is going to outbrake himself and just murder Quatchup, surely. Because they're miles ahead and Quatchup gets involved in this.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
No, Quatchup's run wide.
It's just a mistake.
Oh, man, but then they have collided after this, so we will stick with it, because there goes Palomino on the inside.
Yeah, and Quatchup is still there. Yeah, that was just... Oh, that was where the contact was. And they fell behind there. And, wow, just a very awkward few sequence of corners there for all 4 of them. But I guess Marshall isn't complaining. But, yeah, that about 4-second gap ahead. It's about 3.6 now, but... Yeah, I don't think he's going to be getting into the top 8 without any kind of mistakes from these guys. Dimbolo, like I said, though, he's up to 7th and realistically is showing some decent pace from an AM driver. So on his debut, could be something to look forward to for next season.
A little bit wide for Godestad. He worked hard to make up the gap on the top 2, but that's all been undone with that outbreaking manoeuvre. Yeah, Dimbolo, when he signed up, was very high iRating for the AMs. I think he was only about 100 iRating away from getting put in the Pro AMs. So he is very strong, as just ahead of them, Balicki was going off the circuit. The drivers are limited to 17 incidents in these races. That's not especially easy when it comes to the A final, but in these heats, when they're only 10 minutes, they can use the off tracks lap after lap after lap, and they can gain a bit of time by doing it as well. As we'll get a quick replay of what happened to Balicki, who was chasing down Kos up to this point, but he lost a few tenths here.
Yeah, just a bit unfortunate. And oh, good car control there from Balicki, just about managing to keep it on the track and just pushed it through turn 7 a bit too much. And well, he's managed to catch back up to Kos with relative ease. So Kos looks like he might be about to lose another position as we head through the final few corners. And this lap is going to be white flag as well. These races do fly by, especially at a track like this, which is quite long. About 2 minutes and 7 seconds is the fastest lap times we've seen from these guys so far. And well, Kos is going to be feeling a bit vulnerable here, and well, he will, I think, be starting in 9th if he does finish in 5th in this race, which isn't too bad, but considering where Pennington is going to be for the start of the next heat, I get the feeling he's going to be feeling a little bit scarce going into that A1.
Yeah, he only had a 3-point advantage going into this round. And right now, if you're a betting man, you're going to be putting Pennington ahead at the end of this round with the way that it's looking at the moment. He has actually caught up a bit to Goddestad after that mistake from Goddestad on the previous lap, but he's not going to be able to go for that one. We've seen Igor very measured so far in all of his performances this season. Salomon still just clear of Yanni, who's also very measured, very passive is Yanni. I don't think he's... Oh, because he won it Interlagos. He did win it Interlagos, but has generally come out second best to Salomon when they have raced. Bathurst comes to mind as the main one, as the drivers dip onto the grass for one last time, and now just half a lap to go, and the overtaking opportunities are quickly running out.
Yeah, basically after turn 5, there is very limited amount of overtaking opportunities. Canada Corner really is the last one that you can do. This exit of the carousel, following another car through there can be super difficult. Not so bad in these types of cars, but in those higher downforce cars like the prototypes or any other, like a Formula car, can be a tough one. But Yanni just seems to have lost a little bit of ground to Salomon in this last sector, which is crucial. And kind of running out of overtaking opportunities now. The only chance he's got now is to get him on a run to the line if Salomon makes some kind of mistake. So this could end up being quite close. We'd just like to mention as well, I believe Balicki made another mistake on that last lap and has failed to get past Kos. So Kos will hang on to 4th, and I believe will be starting 7th in the A final as it stands. But coming up to the line, I think Salomon has been able to beat out Yanni in this first heat, and he will take victory in this heat number 1 here at Road America and extends his championship lead even more, as if he really needed to be honest. Goddestad just about holds on to the podium after making a couple of lockups in those final few laps, but realistically, Yanni and Salomon were just the absolute stars of the field today.
Yes, they'll be tricky to beat. Who will be starting between them when it comes to the A final? That is what we'll find out when we go to Heat 2 in a few moments' time. Dimbolo gets through into the A final. Amazing performance from him to be able to achieve that. He was ahead of Wolfson, who took out the last spot, which was impressive for him because he started down in 14th place. His teammate Mads Jensen will be one of the drivers in the B final. So let's have a look at the second heat of the evening then. And it will be Luke Pennington, the Pro-Am driver, up ahead of 5 pros behind him. Hammer in second place, Key in third, Christiansen, Hereford and Moldovan. Aidan Young lines up in 7th place. Then it's Leon Erger. Lewis Wards lines up in 9th place. Then it is Simon Muldercleve, top of the amateur drivers in 10th. Gordon Hogg in 11th. Nick Horn in 12th. Then it's Nicholas Nold, Nick Madsen and Simon Andre Livingston. So Nolder and Madsen, 2 of the best drivers in the series. I would imagine they're going to get into the top 8, which means that 2 of the current top 8 may not make it through.
Well, to be fair, in that last race, we did see a few errors from the guys trying to come back through. I think Wolfson and obviously Jensen didn't manage to. So anything can happen in these 10 minutes.
Let's find out what is going to happen then. Pennington, starting from the pole position. It's a strong start for the British driver. It's not a good start for Glenn Key. And Hammer will start into second place. But Christensen has got a fantastic launch. He is now clear, just trying to cover off the third place. He's got a little bit of a wiggle going into turn one, but he's all got it stopped. So that's a fantastic start for the Valkyrie X-Up driver as Leon Erger goes wide onto the grass and will now rejoin near the back of the field. Nick Horn also had a collision. However, there was I think, 4 wide going into that corner. And what's happened to Pennington? This could be decisive for the championship. He's got a lot of work to do now. And from the pole position, Luke Pennington has made a crucial mistake.
Well, I did say that he can buckle under the pressure sometimes, and well, this looks to be all by himself. He got a fantastic launch, and into here, he's just way too late on lap 1. Cold brakes, cold tyres, and just got it all wrong. He will be absolutely kicking himself, and like you said, Sam, he's got a hell of a lot of work to do, not only to get into that A final, but to match up to where Koss will be starting, and it's going to hurt his points. And, well, for what seemed like a bad result for Koss compared to what Pennington will be able to do, well, it's swung in just a matter of a few corners. Now Hammer leads from Christensen, Key, Moldovan. Young is up to 5th place now as well. Herford has dropped back a little bit. Ward is up to 7th as well, and Madsen as well, up into the top 8. And well, I was mentioning at the start that it could be tricky to come through the field, and they've done it in just under a lap.
It's really a lot of changes so far. Madsen up the highest amount of places with 6th place, like you said. For him to gain all those places in just the first lap is pretty incredible. There is Noldo trying to get past Hawk. Hawk's almost into Madsen. He is into Madsen, but it's himself who he costs. And Noldo will move up into 9th place, and he's 1 place away now from the A final. But in terms of Pennington and Koss, I mean, as Madsen's actually just gone for a move on Ward. Ward realises that Season 1 champion was going to get past eventually and lets him go. But just another change in the Pro-Am Championship. Both of them have been struggling, frankly, for consistent results in the last 2 rounds, and this is a continuation. It's Philip Hammer, the former Pro-Am champion, leading the way in this Heat 2.
Oh, if he can take his first heat race, I believe, ever, well, that's going to be a fantastic result for Hammer. He's got a little bit of work to do, but I think we're going to take a quick replay of just some of the many things that happened on that first lap. Here's what happened between Gordon, Hawk. Just all seemed like a bit of chaos going into Canada corner. Broke far too late and nearly took out Madsen. And I'm really surprised that no one was able to run into him and everyone avoided him. So good job from everyone else there. But Gordon, just, we saw those mistakes on that first lap, and Pennington obviously being the big shock, and well, his tyres are going to be absolutely ruined. So it's going to be really, really tough for him. But as a champion, as someone who's fighting for a championship, the best thing you can do now is just keep a level head. That's what you have to do. No matter what's happening, you just have to keep calm. Otherwise, it could get even worse for you.
Yeah, and of course, this isn't the final round. They have still got 1 more round to go after this. So Pennington can afford to go into the final round behind Koss, and it wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world. But after that qualifying, he almost and would have rightfully thought that the Leo the Championship was in the bag. Instead, it's pretty much just damage limitation now. Erger is the next driver ahead of him. He seems to have escaped from too much damage. He did go off at turn 1 on lap 1, as Noldo has got past Ward. Not a huge surprise considering the vast difference in skill between the 2 drivers. And yeah, Ward no longer in the top 8 and will do well to get back into the top 8.
And Nold there just about getting ahead of Lewis Ward. To experiment a little bit with track limits to do it, but just about managed to squeeze through. And well, we're not biased to Lewis at all. Definitely not here at Apex, but it would be nice to see Lewis make his way into the A final as well. Of course, he has the B final to be able to do it. There's Herford going ahead of Young into turn 1 as well. Pennington trying to make some moves.
Double overtake.
Oh, it was a double overtake, but just went too deep. I think he got the iRacing glue as well, and he's lost out again. And I think Young has made a mistake as well. He's gone off at some point, and I think Ward has been collected
Oh,
as well,
no.
and that's Ward spinning round.
I mean, it was only a matter of time, wasn't it? Due to the skill deficit, but I mean, it's a sorry sight, but you know, it's hardly a surprise. So Madsen was going for the move. They were going for a triple overtake. Oh, Madsen locked up, and he's hit the two of them and Ward, not looking at the yellow flags whatsoever, and some pretty disappointing driving there from a guy who you hope better from.
Well, yeah, you can say whatever you want, but I'm not sure about this move from Madsen. We've had a couple drivers talk about Madsen a couple times this season, and yeah, the gap was there, but
I thought he ran wide, but to be fair to him, he was on the white line when the contact was made, but you have also got to question going 3 wide there was asking for a crash.
Yeah, it's not a corner often where I think, yeah, 3 wide is possible. I just think it was 3 into 1 doesn't go, really. There just wasn't enough room at all for any of them there. Here's Luke Pennington again trying to make up some ground, a bit of a wiggle from Muldercleave, and still Pennington can't get past. And it's just getting worse and worse for Pennington.
We can get another replay now of the Nick Madsen incident. What I would say is that I think Madsen may have done the exact same thing on lap 1, and I think it worked. It was like, I said it was like 4 wide on lap 1, but I think it was probably just the 3 wide. Here it was again. The actual move is as good as it could have gone. I think it's just the intention of it is questionable. The stewards will have a look. Welcome to everyone on the chat, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying the racing. Heat 2 has been very exciting so far. Liam Slip just mentioning how Horn, the Vulture, strikes. And yes, he is picking up the scraps. And he has got past Lewis Ward. He's up to 14th place now, is Nick Horn.
Yeah, Nick Horn making them gains. Soon enough, he'll be able to make it into that A final. And I'd just like to mention as well, on that 3 wide incident, I actually think whoever was on the left, I think it was Hereford, didn't actually leave that much room for the cars on the inside. I'm not sure Hereford was aware of Madsen making that move fully, because as a car who's on the outside, you can't really see who's all the way to the right. I mean, I guess his spot obviously would have told him, but I don't know. It's a bit of an awkward one, that, and we'll have to wait and see what the stewards think of it. And I think we will be able to get a onboard with Hereford to just have a look from his perspective. I just think there was a bit more to the left of the track that he could have given up. Here we go then into turn 3. So it's about 2 wide now, then 3 as we head into the braking, and a bit of contact there as well. And now that I'm seeing the onboard, I'm a bit skeptical. There was a little bit left on the left, but
yeah,
that's
one of those
too difficult,
instances.
man.
It's one of those instances where, like, from every onboard, it looks like no one's done anything wrong.
Yeah.
But it looks like someone else has done the wrong thing from each person's perspective. Pennington is almost got past Muldercleave. He is now past Muldercleave, so that's at least up to 11th. But Pennington, we've seen this a couple of times. We saw it at Spa, where he has an absolute mare. When something goes against him, he does sometimes struggle to get back through the order. Admittedly, I think we've got a small sample size. I don't want to cast big judgments on him, but that has seemingly happened a couple of times this season. If he can just get past Livingston, though, that is something. It's an extra point in this race, and it's like an extra 2 grid positions for the B final. So this battle's going on. Also, the battle between Moldovan, Hereford, and Madsen is going on. Portuguese Madsen, Hereford, and Nolder is going on. The 3 of them glued to one another. And Madsen, I'm sure, will be going for a launch into T5.
I think that prediction is probably the best prediction we've made all season. Here we go then into turn 5. Madsen getting ever closer, and going up the inside is Madsen. Probably the most predictable move of all time, but unfortunately I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. He has the inside line for this next corner, but I just think Hereford has just got that extra speed round the outside, and Hereford's just about managed to hold on to 5th. And Madsen most likely will just have to sit back and accept this one as he gets all squirrely on the exit of turn 7, looks up the inside again, but just can't do it. And Livingston's made a mistake. He's fallen all the way down to last. Nick Horn then picking up another spot. So he will be in a decent position for the B final as well. But Madsen, I just think, has gotten a little bit impatient. But Philip Hammer has controlled this race beautifully up the front.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall if Hammer's won a heat so far this season. I can't recall off the top of my head. He's had many podiums. I think he's even had A final podiums. And he is a very accomplished driver, as Hammer, over the last 2 seasons of the Porsche Cup. Did very well, I remember, at Le Mans back 2 seasons ago and won the 60-minute race, finished 2nd place overall on that occasion. But this has been a nice drive for him. Didn't have to do too much to get the race lead, but like you said, he has managed it very well. And the German driver for Impulse Racing will approach the line, and he will score some valuable points for himself in the Teams Championship, ahead of Christensen, one of his main rivals in the Teams Championship, and Key in 3rd place. Moldovan finishes 4th. Hereford will hold on against Madsen. Nolder in 7th, and Young was being caught by Erger near the end, but Young is the only Pro-Am to make it through from this race. Really, Ward, the only driver, upsetting the nice class differentiation there.
Yeah, and it realistically, it was completely Ward's fault. He just he should have ghosted and just gone straight through the cars in front. That's what I would have done. So yeah, a bit just disappointing there from Lewis, and we really expect better from him.
I mean, I don't want to have a go at the guy or anything, but like, it's actually quite annoying. Like when you watch him, when you watch him drive, it's actually it's almost like upsetting. Like the way that he does it, it's just. And I don't have a go at drivers normally, Aaron. I don't, do I?
No.
But it's just you really don't like to see it.
No, I can tell you're on the brink of tears. To be honest,
I'm being pushed here by him.
Honestly, we're just victims of
yeah, just. Well, let's see what he does in this race, but oh dear me. Gordon Marshall is on pole position for the B final. Erger in 2nd place, Quattrop 3rd, and Pennington 4th. What a strong top 4 that is. Palomino's had some good pace tonight. He's ahead of Horg, Bjorklund, Livingston. Koopmans, watch out for him. Horn in 10th place, Wedderburn and Muldercleve. Jensen and Ward were in 13th and 14th place. 2 drivers who may sneak their way up into the top 4, because that are all the positions that are available for the A final now. The lights coming on then for this B final. And away we launch. Gordon Marshall with a very poor start. Potchup's going to go from the 2nd row of the grid all the way up into 1st. Good start, I think, as well for Luke Pennington. He's trying to make it 3 wide. Has to just back out of it. Hereford will go around the outside into T1. But it's Quattrop leading the way for JM Esports.
Yeah, just there's a spinner in the background there. I think that was Wedderburn. I think who just went straight into the wall, and well, he's trying to do like a half donut there into turn 1, and did a successful time. But wow, that's some lead for Quattrop already. Oh wow, he's really broken away from the rest of the field, and yeah, Gordon Marshall had a horrid start off of the launch there, but insert turn 5 goes, oh, that's a huge lock up there. And is that Pennington involved? For Pennington, I hope it's not. I think no, Pennington was further up, but that was about 3 or 4 cars there getting involved, and Jensen's one of them as well. So our only pro.
Oh, Marshall.
And Marshall. Pennington's out. Pennington's gone. That could be it for Pennington. I don't think he was initially, but just got involved in something else. Oh, you know what?
He's collided with Marshall, I think. So Quattrop, and now Erger will move through. What a chaotic first half lap. Quattrop had it in the bag. And frankly, the top 4 on the grid were all easily good enough to get into the A final. They really had an opportunity to make it too easy. But they've all capitulated. And I mean, it shows you what's gone on when Lewis Ward is up there in 4th position. We'll get a replay of what on earth happened over these first few corners. And so this was the initial crash into T5. Oh no, yeah, Jensen's. outbroked himself and,
Yeah.
I mean, caused absolute chaos.
Oh, and you can see there. Oh, that was a huge one up there with Marshall and Pennington. I just think Marshall just didn't leave Pennington any room on the outside. I don't know if Marshall didn't see him or what, but yeah, you can see here that Pennington's clearly there, but Marshall just doesn't see him.
No.
And that's
straight
it for
away,
Pennington.
I mean, that's pretty much the championship over, right? Like,
Yeah.
with his poor drop score as well, hasn't got a backup. We may have just seen the crowning of Igor Kos for the Pro-Am Championship with a round to spare. We'll hold back to absolutely confirm that one, but it's looking very good now for the German driver. Erger leading then, ahead of Quattrop still. Marshall in third. Something's happened to Ward, who's down to sixth place. Jensen has gone off now at T2, and he's down into 10th place. And now the top four look fairly secure because there's a huge gap between Marshall and Livingston. Koopmans is up there as well. Amazing recovery from him. He's up 5 places. Marshall will get past him, but the Dutch driver does not care one bit. And he will remain in 4th place. But let's have a look at what happened to Lewis Ward.
Yeah, he lost about 4 seconds, I think. He was from 4th, I think. This is into Canada corner. And that's very late on the brakes.
Oh, Lewis, what are you doing, man?
I'm not sure who that car was. I think that was... Oh, dear. Yeah, that's really not ideal from Lewis. I think the car... I think it was... The car ahead... Whoever it was ahead of him broke really early, but Lewis... Yeah. I don't think there was too much to say about that.
And sometimes people may be saying, Sam, why are you being harsh on this guy? But it's because of that moves like that. What's he playing at, the guy? What is he playing at? He really needs to sort himself out. And I don't just mean on the sim, but I think generally.
If he makes it into the A final, you're going to look like a... Yeah.
Well, he's not going to make it into the A final, is he? He's 5 seconds away. He's in a different postcode. He needs to get past Livingston first, and I doubt he's got the talent to do that. Livingston defending well. This is how you do racecraft, Lewis. Don't just wipe out drivers like anything. So here he goes then. On the outside, they're being caught by Horn. Up there in 8th place. I think this would be his best result in a B final so far this season. I think his best result previous to this may have been 11th back at Sebring last week. Ward just a little bit later on the brakes, but he's struggling to carry the speed through the corner, but he has just about got clear. He's up into 5th place, and here comes Gordon Hawk, who's going to try to take advantage straight away himself.
Yeah, I think that was probably the luckiest overtake I've ever seen in my life. It was all the car, to be honest. Just hanging on through the middle of the corner is Marshall.
Right, twice a day, isn't it?
Yeah, just really just about hanging on there is Lewis Ward. That's Marshall getting a bit squirrely on the exit of turn 5. Koopman's really trying to get ahead of the AM driver. I'm really surprised Marshall was still in this. Compared to what happened. I've said it.
Koopman's is going to go wide. Well, they've just about got enough of a gap, but all of a sudden, Lewis Ward's eyes are bulging out of the cockpit because the 2 ahead of them don't seemingly want to go through, and that is another instant for Gordon Marshall around a similar part of the circuit as well. He should be easily through. He should be 7 seconds up the road right now, but he is getting involved in instances that we haven't seen him getting involved in so far this season.
I don't know if I was about to say I don't know if the pressure's getting to him, but I don't know what pressure. He's basically already won, so I'm not sure what's going on there for Gordon Marshall. He literally just needs to finish, and I'm pretty sure he's won.
Made a mistake now.
Yeah, Quattrop. I was about to say that Quattrop has looked a bit weird this race. He had that huge lead at one point.
Oh,
here's
Nick
Horn.
No.
Oh, it's the glue again.
Man. Oh, I thought it was going to be a real nice move there from Nick.
It was the glue.
And you know what? He's actually been generous, and he's let Hawg back past. But that was looking good. He would have been up to 6th.
Yeah, I think that was I genuinely was about to say that's a really good move there. It was very opportunistic, as that's a mistake from I believe it is Gordon up ahead. And is this going to be a dive up the inside? It is. And Yeah, it looks beautiful, and yeah, it was just the glue again. I really don't know what's been going on with iRacing in this recently, but this is happening scarily often now. I don't know if it's to do with netcode or what, but genuinely, these cars just seem to get stuck together. I really do not know what's going on.
Yeah, it really has become more common recently, and it is not good to see. It's not good for the racing. PJ in chat, PJ Clysons, former Apex Racing League driver, took part in GTD Trophy just a couple of seasons ago, saying that he's part of the Lewis Ward fan club, which I would not want to be a member of, honestly. Don't want to be disappointed every week. But PJ and Lewis are actually racing, I know, in the IMSA Endurance Championship this weekend at the Nordschleife. So, I mean, you're doing a service for all of us there, PJ. We credit you for that one. Ward is now 1.8 seconds away from Koopmans. He is rapidly catching up to him. Ward is actually the second fastest man out on circuit at the moment. He has got a few more laps to go. I think he's got 3 laps after this one to get it done. I think if he keeps on gaining like this, they're going to pretty much be on top of one another on the last lap.
Yeah, and well, it's a very interesting race. To be honest, this is probably the most chaotic race we've seen in quite a few weeks, and it's just a B final. So, like everything's happened. We've just had incidents, crashes. Pennington has decided not to continue at all, and well, it's going to be the end of Pennington's day. I think this is the first time this season we've not seen him in an A final, and well, it is basically the end of the championship for him. Here's Jensen catching back up to Livingston, and he makes a mistake into the final corner. These are just picking up scraps and a couple points now, as they are really far off the top 4 at the moment, but still going to have a wheel-to-wheel race, because why not? We're racing driver, says Livingston, aggressively defending towards the inside against Palomino, and Livingston's just about going to hold on for now, and Jensen probably going to rock away from these two and just let these guys battle for 7th and 8th, as Palomino's really trying to find a way through, but just cannot find anything there. I don't know what's been going on with Quattrop as well. Just these last few laps, he's been really slow.
I saw him make... So yeah, I think he made a mistake at Canada Corner 2 laps ago, and then on the last lap, he also went off at Sector 3, which is like at the carousel or something. We might get a replay, actually, of what happened. So yeah, this is the 3rd sector one, so this is what happened on the previous lap. I mean, it's going to be a mistake that many drivers have made so far tonight. And then, yeah, this is on the exit of the carousel.
Yeah, and it's one of the most difficult corners. I think it actually might be the corner after this. This corner, I'm guessing, is just barely flat in these cars, or maybe a slight lift. And it just goes a little bit wide there. And I don't necessarily think it's just mistakes. It's just been a bit slow, to be honest. He had a huge gap at after the first few corners, but yeah, just has not really been on it. And there, well, I was just saying he's not made that many mistakes, but I don't know if he's got some damage or something. But he's really overdriving the car right now, and if he keeps doing that, he could be under pressure. We've still got about, I'd say, 2 laps to go, so he just needs to keep it on the track. I don't know why he's pushing so hard.
I go 6.5 seconds up the road. I will give a quick shout out to Apex Racing Academy, the title sponsor for this series. And of course, if you want to get setups and track guides and data packs for the Porsche Cup car, do visit apexracingac.com. Get yourself a bronze or silver or gold subscription, and you can get access to the Porsche Cup car, but also many other cars as well, whether it be single-seaters, GT cars, prototypes, rallycross cars, many different cars covered by Apex Racing Academy. Why is there a car on the side of the track? I think that may have been there for a while. It's Mulderclip, I think. Oh, there he is. He's going back going in. He's resuscitated. And we will get a replay of that as well. But yeah, thanks to Apex Racing Academy. And of course, all their setups and guides created by some of the best drivers in all of sim racing and all of iRacing as well. So we do recommend giving it a go. Here was Modiclave. I'm not sure what was going on.
Looks like the engine or something's just complete. I don't know what he's. I think this is probably the most confused I've ever been watching someone in my life. I don't know if he was just making a quick adjustment. He is very far down, so maybe he just thought I just need to adjust something or go to the toilet. I don't know really, to be honest. But he's got going again, 2 laps down. Here's Gordon Haug as well, who made a mistake into turn 5. This looks like he went a bit wide and just looped it round, coming on the power. And yeah, these cars are very, very difficult to get on the power. It's one of the most sensitive cars in all of iRacing, to be honest. It's a really tough cookie, this one, to get right. It's, the battle for 4th between Lewis Ward and Koopmans has kind of fallen off a little bit, and Lewis just hasn't had the pace that Koopmans has gotten back up to speed over these last few laps. And Koopmans now on the back of Marshall. And well, I hope these guys don't fight too hard. They don't necessarily need to. This is going to be the white flag. This is just for 1 extra grid spot. But I believe Koopmans will definitely want to get ahead. I believe Nick Horn also made a mistake at some point, and we can take a look at that.
So yeah, Koopmans, of course, fighting pretty hard earlier on with Marshall, and they did collide once before, so I wouldn't be shocked if they did have another incident. This is a corner where Nick Horn actually had an incident earlier on, and it's just getting on maybe to a little bit of gravel that's come onto the circuit and losing the car. Here they come then, P3 and P4. And like you said before, you just see Modiclave stationary. I don't know what the guy's doing, but he is still waiting there at T5. Marshall holding on. These have been his bogey corners so far. He's already had 2 collisions at turn 6 and turn 7 so far in this race, but he gets through them this time. They're catching up to Quatchup, but not fast enough in order to put any pressure on the 2nd place man. And Koopmans with probably just 2 more chances, kind of corner, and then maybe the final corner, maybe the run to the line as well. He is much faster, and it's a strong pace for a man who we didn't anticipate to get through into the A final. He will be delighted in order to get into the A final, but he still has sights on that P19 on the grid for the final race of the evening.
Well, he's going to take all the liberties with the track limits, as Marshall is going to be checking his mirrors. Is there going to be a final lap send from Koopmans? Doesn't look like there is going to be at all, and I think Quatchup has made a little bit of another error into that final corner, and Quatchup has really had a weird final race, to be honest, and he's still got a couple corners to go, so let's hope he doesn't make any more mistakes. But Erger has, well, just absolutely shot away from the rest of the field and will take victory in this B final. Very impressive job from him, and he will get the 4th to last grid position. Here's going to be a run to the line between Marshall and Koopmans has just about pipped him. And wow, I thought that was it for the battle between these two, but Marshall then will be starting last and just about beating him by 8 thousandths of a second. And wow, that was really good work by those two to keep it clean. Lewis Ward, unfortunately, just missing out. Just step out there. just missing out by about 3 seconds. But yeah, Sam, obviously, no bias whatsoever towards Lewis Ward.
I mean, it's good when everyone can agree on something, eh? It's a very divided world, but we can all agree that Lewis Ward not being a part of this race meeting anymore is a positive. You know, the scoring sheet shows that he was close to getting in, but I think we all know that the guy was a country mile away and didn't deserve to get in either. He finished in 5th position. And that's all the drivers across the line. Let's have a quick look at those B final results then, just to confirm who managed to get through and what the order will be for the A final. Erger will be in 17th place, Quatchup in 18th, Koopmans in 19th, and Marshall in 20th place. Ward not getting through. Jensen, the only pro driver not to get through. Palomino, who had pace tonight, could have maybe got through himself, but just involved in a couple too many incidents. Also missing out. Nick Horn putting in chat, awful race Yeah, disappointing, Nick. You got a bit hit by the glue, we could see, and then that late instant. And Glyn reminding that he's not last, which, considering that Nick is the lowest I-rated driver of all the guys in the series, means that he has overperformed. Stu Z saying he enjoys the Wisconsin scenery. I certainly agree with that one. However, Aaron, and this gives me a good opportunity to raise a point, is that why haven't we got seasons in iRacing? Have I brought up this point with you before? How nice would it be if you could put it in the 20th of October, and rather than these green trees being green, they all turn that autumnal brown?
I think iRacing have a couple more things that they'd want to add before adding seasons.
No. You see in real life this circuit, it's very rarely green. It's very rarely green. And so you look at it and you're like, oh, where's the brown? And some of the biggest events of the year at Road America are hosted when the track is brown. So let's have brown trees, please. And I think after 15 years, we should have it on iRacing. Forget rain. I want the trees to be a different color. I think it would be real nice, and it would just add something to all the circuits. I imagine it'd be possible as well to change it. Just change, tree color equals green to tree color equals brown, and that's done for the entire sim.
I don't know if any sim does that. I don't. Okay, I've just been told that AMS2 does, but then again, that's probably the only good thing on AMS2. So, I mean, let's be honest, Road America does need a new scan anyway. It is one of the oldest on the sim. And like you said, there is a lot of green, but that is also because, the modern version of Road America just has a bunch of runoffs instead of grass. So, I mean, seasons aren't a bad idea at all, but it would require a lot of effort to do it, and I don't know how
I told you the programming on that. I know this. It's just tree color equals green. Change it to tree color equals brown. It can't be that tricky. You just change the color of the trees. They can do it. Don't make excuses for them, Aaron. All right.
If we're gonna add seasons, add winter and then add snow. Then I'll be happy.
Yeah. We need to have. It's not realistic to have Snetterton on the 21st of December and it not being absolutely freezing and snowy and all of that stuff. I mean, look at Knock Hill. I mean, that place would be absolutely incredible. An ice rink for much of the year. Stu Z once again in chat saying Sonoma in spring is weird. Like, absolutely. You think of Sonoma, it's always sand. Nuh-uh. Has grass there as well. And you see that in the spring and the summer. Paul Meredith saying, I've got a real craving for some American cheese. That means that the cheese bridge is doing its job. The grids for this final race of the evening, then the A final, 20 drivers taking part, and here's Gabriel Salomon going for yet another race victory up ahead of Philip Hammer, Michael Yanni in third place. Let's go to Christiansen, his teammate Joe Vega Kodestad in fifth place, Ben Key in sixth, there's Igor Kost top of the Pro-Ams, there's Moldovan, Balicki, Herford, Pedersen, Madsen, Dimbolo, top of the AM drivers, Nolder, Wilson, Young, Erger, Hotchup, Koopmans, and Marshall, rounding out the 20 cars, once again making it to the A final, which has been the reason why he is so far ahead in the Amateur Championship. All 20 drivers are on the grid. We wait to see if Salomon can replicate his strong start from his Heat 1. Here we go, 5 lights are out, and we're away racing for the final time here at Road America. It's a better start for Hammer, but it's not going to be enough for him to leapfrog our pole sitter. Yanni lining up behind all the drivers, making a beeline to the inside of the circuit, but now just expanding out. Hammer's going to try to cover off Yanni, but Yanni's looking very threatening in that Apex Racing team livery at the moment. Balicki gaining a couple of places in the background, but it's that fight for second place, which looks like the most alive one, and I think it's going to continue down into turn 5.
Yeah, most definitely will. And it looks like Hammer has just about lost out to Michael Yanni as he just about snuck his way up the inside of turn 3. But Salomon, as it's kind of been a theme that the guy in first just kind of shoots away from the rest of the pack. We're going nearly 3 wide into turn 5, and we are now going 3 wide. They need to be careful. I think Philip Hammer there just backed out of it smartingly so. Lost the position, but is still in the race, which is the most crucial thing. And Yanni just about holding on to second place there. But it was a very opportunistic move from Christensen, just about to overtake Hammer, and Godestad is not too far behind. I think this is Luz Belicki just going off onto the grass and coming back on again. There's Koss in the background battling with Madsen as well, who makes his way through. It's been a fairly good day for Madsen so far, considering he started pretty much last in his second heat. So, well, he's up to all the way up to 8th now. He's up 4 places already. So, good start from him, and I'm sure he'll move further up the grid if he can just keep it on the track.
Yeah, I think that's very likely. Salomon track extending a bit through the kink, really wide for Joe Vega Godestad there. Shame for Belicki that he went wide a little bit earlier on the lap, but he's still up 2 places from his starting spot. And everyone in a line, pretty much apart from Salomon, who's got a 1 second lead as they come to the end of this lap 1. Madsen up 4 places, Wolfson up 4 places as well. They are the 2 highest gainers. As it's a lovely sight seeing the drivers go through Bill Mitchell Bend in the final turn here at Road America.
Yeah, Bill Mitchell, especially in cars like this, where it's a difficult corner. In most of the higher downforce cars that we're used to, it's just a flat corner. It's not very difficult at all. But these guys really do have to hook it up through there and really hold on to the steering wheel through there. And it's a really good sight, especially going 2 wide. And well, speaking of 2 wide, here's Pedersen and Dimbolo going battle for 14th place. Dimbolo has had a really, really good day today, to be honest, considering that it's his first race and he's up to 14th. He's leading the amateurs right now. And Marshall, who's the only other amateur in this race, is stuck in 18th, battling with the likes of Koopmans and Erger. The guys who made it through to the B final are still just all together in one condensed ball, but the rest of the field is fairly clean right now. Is Belicki and Madsen going wheel to wheel. In the background there's Wilson and Koss as well, and Madsen just unable to make any ground at the moment and just tucks in behind as we head through this middle sector. And Madsen looks like he's got really good pace around here, and I wonder if he was able to qualify, where would he have been?
Yeah, very true. These 2 collided last time out, and so I feel like Belicki is probably feeling a bit nervous. Madsen did receive a penalty as well for the incident that occurred. Madsen, yeah, did have a qualifying ban for this round, so that's why he started low down. Wolfson, the other driver, who had a qualifying ban, and they've done very well to be up in 8th and 10th place in the A finals. Frankly, neither of them have finished too much higher than that so far this season in the A finals. Really does show how you can come back as Belicki using the Joker lap by just going wide, track extending. They've got 16 of those instants to use, and Belicki's used one of them there.
Well, I mean, he doesn't get any penalty for it if he doesn't use them, so there's a bit of a wheel-to-wheel action. This is Nold, actually, who we've not really seen much of today. Just about overtaking Pedersen there, going through Bill Mitchell Bend. There's Young as well, trying to make up a move as the back of Pedersen's Porsche looks, well, worse for wear. There's Koss into the pits. This is not ideal for him at all. I'm not sure if he's gotten some kind of penalty, maybe off the start. He's got like a stop-go or drive-through or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's not ideal for Koss, as he's going to be in last. He's going to score the least amount of points that he can, and maybe the battle for the Pro-Am Championship is still going to be there. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it could still be there. Maybe, but Koss will definitely have the advantage. Or, and this is a long shot, maybe Koss is doing it on purpose to have a championship battle.
Wow.
Maybe.
I mean, what a sportsman. I mean, what an idiot, but what a sportsman if he's willing to go that far for our entertainment. So maybe he's doing it. Self-penalising would be a new thing, but yeah, I mean, it'll be catchable now. This might be his drop score even, but his other drop score is fairly bad. It's like 70 or something. For context, he genuinely scores about 100. No, actually, no, I might be wrong on that. I think he usually scores about 80 per round, 80 to 90. I think his drop score is about 60. Is Koss. I think tonight will be about 65 or something, so it will be close to that drop score. But yeah, he will be catchable, especially with the pace that Pennington has. It's like Pennington could win the last round. Like, you know, he's got that much pace. He has done awfully, I will say, at the long races, has Pennington this season. So, you know, it's probably not going to happen. but he's willing to put in a lot of hours. He may well find himself up there. Yanni chasing down Salomon at the moment. Now half a second the gap between the two of them. It was over 1 second after lap 1.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very much a repeat of the first heat. I think Salomon's just going to hold on to the gap. I don't think Yanni's going to have quite enough pace to be able to catch him. He'll be able to hold on to him with that slipstream, of course, but I just think overtaking round here, you do have to be a lot quicker than the car in front of you, even with that slipstream. Just at the top, you have to be that little bit quicker. So we'll wait and see what happens between these two. I think there's been an incident behind. I think Aiden Young's just having a talk on the voice chat right now. Here's Nicholas Nold making some gains as he goes up to 12th place. But Timberlow's going to still battle him out, though. He's not going to give this one up that easily as he tries to hold it round the outside of turn 1. Into turn 3 we go. It's going to be difficult to hold it round the outside, but Timberlow's giving it a right old go. And just about manages to squeeze himself up in there and is still holding on to 12th place. This is a very, very impressive debut by the Brit. And, well, it's kind of a shame that we haven't had this kind of battling from an AM all season long.
Marshall's got up there occasionally, but yeah, this is very competitive from Timberlow. And Nolder is, I mean, really respectful racing as well. And we always trust Nolder to deliver respectful racing. And Timberlow somehow come out on top on that one. He's got 10 more minutes to hold on out in that 12th place. But he's going to give it a good go. I'm sure Nolder has got a lot of respect for him after that one, because Nolder, one of the leading members of the Porsche Cup community on iRacing. We now ride on board with Joe Vegard-Goddestad. He wants to get past Philip Hammer. He started in 2nd place, lost 2 places on lap 1, and has remained in that 4th position ever since then. Goddestad does look a little bit quicker. Goddestad actually just set the fastest first sector of anyone, so he's got a very nice draft at the moment, but not enough to overcome the 160 machine.
No, not quite. And well, we've taken a break from looking at that battle for a while, but Balicki and Madsen still going wheel to wheel. They're side by side going through the final corner. And of course, like Sam mentioned, these guys have come together before. Madsen just about getting ahead round that final corner, but Balicki will get that slipstream down this main straight and will probably have another go at him into turn 1, as he's got Wolfson as well to worry about. Let's hope that he lives and doesn't make it 3 wide, but this has happened before. And a good thing. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Balicki drifting it through turn 1. Madsen just about holding on. They nearly go 3 wide, which is what Madsen did in his heat. But just Wolfson thinking better of it. Balicki's still there. They're still side by side, incredibly enough. They haven't actually made full collision. There is a car going off into the background. I think that's Nold who's spun off. It is. He's out of it completely. And, well, Wolfson seems to be giving Madsen a bit of a bump draft as they go into turn 5. Is Balicki going to be able to hold on to this 7th place? Madsen desperately wants it. Does look to be the faster car out of these two. They are squeezing each other to the limit. Balicki lunging it up the inside. But I think Madsen's going to have the better line through this next corner and has finally gotten past him. That was some beautiful racing between these two. Little bit of wheel-to-wheel banging occasionally, and Madsen going defensive again, though, as Balicki forced him into an error. They're going side by side again. I thought it was over. Well, it isn't quite, as they head through the carousel. And, well, is this going to continue all the way until Canada Corner? It might just do.
Yeah, he's not going to get past at the kink. I mean, he'll look a little bit to the inside, but everyone knows that that's not going to happen. It would be negative for both of them. Madsen's run a little bit wide, and Balicki's going to be able to get past her. Madsen will not be able to carry the speed, and Balicki is moving back alongside. He gets his nose ahead. Wilson just unable to do anything, but the likes of Moldovan are rapidly catching up to these drivers, and Balicki getting stops on a dime on the apex. That was really good, great control there into Canada Corner, and Madsen's got to do this move all over again.
Yeah, it looked like he got it all done, but he just couldn't keep it on the track quite enough. And yeah, just was forced into an error there by Balicki. And it's absolutely fantastic racing between these two. And well, I really do hope that it doesn't end in contact like it has done before. And these two can just keep it clean. And Well, who knows? We've got Wolfson as well involved. Wolfson just wants these guys to stop battling so he can get involved and not risk them both DNFing, as they're still side by side into turn one. Bit contact there. Let's hope the glue stays out of this and they can just keep it clean. Still side by side as we head into turn three. Round the outside is Balicki. He'll get the better exit. Bit more contact there as well. Wolfson will surely be giving him a bit of a bump draft, but actually Balicki's just forced Madsen a little bit offline, and now Wolfson is giving Balicki the bump draft. It's a very, very strange battle this between all of these guys. Herford as well trying to get involved. Madsen trying to go around the outside, but still cannot overtake Lewis Balicki, and they remain as they were. Herford just thinks better of it, and Wolfson still in 9th, Madison still in 8th, and Balicki, incredibly enough, still in 7th. And, well, this is fantastic racing for 7th place here. We've got about 4 or 5 cars now separated by about a second and a half. And look at Dimbolo, who's getting involved as well.
Yeah, this was not a train before, and now it really is. On that last lap, they were losing each other about 2 seconds because of that batsman. I'm sure they lost each other another second on this lap as well. But they keep just trying to make a slight break for it now. But yeah, this one going all the way back to Dimbolo, as you were saying before. I will quickly give another shout out to another one of our sponsors, VRS. VRS, of course, producing their hardware with their pedals, their wheelbase, and their wheel rim. And you can go purchase any of those pieces of equipment by going to apexracingsim.com. We thoroughly recommend them, particularly the pedals used by many professional sim racers, including the Apex Racing team squad. Alejandro Sanchez, I know, used them as well back in Spain. Aaron uses them, and he won Daytona at the weekend. So we should give them a go.
Yeah, I mean, if I can win Daytona, then so can you. And whoa,
sorry, Yanni
there's
has
a battle going on for the lead, and well, I thought that this would never happen, but well, it has, and Salomon and Yanni are going wheel to wheel for the first time today, and we haven't seen these guys actually really battle since Bathurst, I don't think, so this is going to be good. This is round 2 of these guys this season, and Yanni has just about snuck a car length in there and has got the run all the way down towards turn 5. I think Yanni actually has the advantage here. He's got the inside line, just has to be a bit brave on the brakes. He has done, but has to be cautious for Salomon getting the cutback, which Salomon just about has. He's got the car up the inside, just about. These guys have to keep it clean, and remember they've got Christensen and Hammer as well behind them, and Goddesad as well. The top 5 separated by 1 second. This is incredible, but Yanni for the first time has actually taken the lead, but Salomon is going to try and get that back, but just has to settle for these next few corners. But Salomon, we know, will not give up for anything.
Goddesad going for an ambitious move, and I think Hammer had to leave a little bit of space for him going into the castle. Top 5 back with one another. This is the stuff that we want to see, and 5 of the absolute best drivers in the series as well. Yanni starting to make a little bit of a break for it. It's going to be very tricky for Salomon to get back this position, but if we need a driver who's got the pace to do it and got the racecraft to do it as well, it is definitely going to be the Danish driver who has impressed us so much this season, and he is keeping in touch. And this is the part of the circuit where it might be tricky to keep in touch, but once they get onto the straights again, the stretch up to turn 1 and the stretch between T3 and T5, that is when he is going to be able to attack the gap. 0.3 of a second, and the chase will start with 2 laps of the race remaining.
Yeah, they've got 2 more attempts to try and defend or pass one another. And Salomon, of course, has fantastic racecraft. I don't think he's going to go for it into this first corner. Just a little bit too far back there, but has a better opportunity into turn 3. But might do better just to sit back and wait for that slipstream all the way to turn 5, which he has done. Gets a good exit. That's a really clean exit from Salomon. Is better than Yanni in front. And which way are these both going to go? It's probably better if Yanni defends the inside. Salomon tries to go towards there, but Yanni covers it off. Salomon's going to have to be brave around the outside. He is inching ahead. He has the car length advantage, but Yanni seems to be a bit braver on the brakes. Yanni just about sneaking ahead. You've got Christensen as well, not too far behind. Salomon, there was nothing he could do there. It is a bit tricky to try and get an overtake fully complete around this track, as we have seen before. There's Yanni going very, very wide. We also would love to look at the battle going on behind. I think Madsen has lost out, unfortunately. Crotcher has as well, and Madsen has made a mistake and fallen all the way down to 14th place. That leaves 7th place up for grabs. And Balicki as well, I believe, was involved in that, as he's gone from 7th to 10th. But wow, lots of battles on the track, and I can barely keep up.
Let's get a replay of Balicki Madsen. It's the second week in a row that they've collided, and frankly, with the way that they were fighting, it did seem a little bit inevitable. So far, it's been good driving between the two of them. Madsen, he's just crowding him out, I think, a little bit there as Nick and Balicki lost 3 places himself, and Madsen lost about 8.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times this season, where the driver thinks that they've covered it off, but it's a bit of that was a mix of that iRacing glue, where the cars kind of gravitate towards each other, and once they have, it's kind of, yeah, there's not really much either driver could have done. Unfortunate for that battle to end the way it did. It was a really, really entertaining one, but we've moved on to an even more entertaining battle. This is for the lead. This is white flag. Michael Yanni going to feed. Oh, that was a very late move from Yanni. Salomon probably thinking, oh, that was a bit cheeky, but I don't really think Michael Yanni has anything to lose here. Salomon is, of course, the leader of the championship at the moment, but wants to score as many points as he possibly can. And I wonder what Christensen, Goddesad, and Hammer are thinking just watching this go on right now. They've got a 4K, 8K, 420 POV, a much better one than we do. They have a fantastic view of this, as this is what it looks like from Roger Christensen. Is he going to try and get involved in this one as well? He thinks about it. He definitely thought about it, but it just wasn't there for him. Salomon has the inside line for this next corner. Bit of a lock up there from one of the Valkyrie cars. Yanni's gone a bit wide and might come under pressure from Christensen now as well. Yanni could have just lost the win and also might lose 2nd place. Just about holds on. But I think Yanni just made a bit of a big error there and has lost his opportunity to win this race unless Salomon makes a mistake. But this is going to be the battle for the podium now, 2nd and 3rd, and maybe Hammer and Goddesad can get involved as well. But a bit unfortunate that the battle for the lead has kind of ended, and Salomon should be able to take the victory from here.
Yeah, there's little doubt about that. Now, I wonder if Yanni did get a slight tap from Christensen, who was deep on the brakes. I think it was him who locked up, and maybe Yanni reacting to the car approaching him at a fast speed heading into turn 5, or maybe it was a physical touch, or maybe it was just him making a mistake. Either way, Yanni went wide, and it looks like Salomon, who has been exceptional in race car, he always comes out on top in the 50-50s. It's been an incredible season from him. It's going to be another amazing race win as well. And after a brilliant qualifying lap, it was a fantastic heat. And Michael Yanni threw absolutely everything at him in the A final. But once again, the championship leader and the champion-elect, Gabriel Salomon for Outsun Motorsport Black, wins the A final at Road America. And it's another haul of points for the Danish driver. Yanni in 2nd place, Christensen, another podium for him. Goddesad in 4th place. Hammer ends up in 5th. He'll be a bit disappointed by that. Key Cup caught them near the end. Dimbolo is going to win in the amateur category on his debut. And Aidan Young, a bit under the radar, is going to win in the Pro-Am category as well.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that none of the Pro-Ams really seemed to do all that well. They all struggled. Of course, we had Kos, which I'm going to say it was probably to do with the jump start. That's going to be my guess as to why he came into the pits in the end. And, well, that has spiced up the Pro-Am Championship a little bit, but I do believe that Kos still will have a pretty big advantage. I'm going to guess probably around 30 or 40 points lead going into the final round.
I mean, I'll do the standings, but I think it's probably only going to be about 20 odd. So it'll be catchable if Pennington has a great final round.
It is just the fact that Kos had at least a good finish in that first heat. Pennington, I don't think actually scored in his heat. I might be wrong on that. I think he did end up finishing. No, he did. He did end up finishing, I think. but then didn't score anything in his B final. So it's going to be close, maybe. I mean, it's going to be the closest championship battle we have, of course, but yeah, just a really unfortunate day for Pennington. It just seemed like everything went wrong for him, and yeah, Kos not having the best day as well, but a lot better than Pennington at least. But yes, I really didn't think Salomon was going to come out with that victory. I thought Yanni was going to be able to defend all the way till the end, as track position is quite important around here. But yeah, just couldn't quite hold on to it. And it's another victory for Salomon, and another reason why he is definitely deserving champion of this season.
Yes, we'll get some interviews with some drivers. I have got Lewis Ward next to me, and would you like to do some kind of was it that the French used to do when they would hold up flags in order to communicate signals over vast distances? Something like that with Lewis. Is there any questions you'd like to ask Lewis?
Why are you so bad?
Anne says, why are you so bad? He said that he missed his breaking point and he's apologized. I don't think that's really a very good logic.
Excuse.
And he's apologized to everyone else who was caught up in the incident as well. He doesn't realise how much criticism he got in the race. I think before that as well, because before that the driving was hardly enviable. But after that it went down to the doldrums, frankly. So yeah. Have we? I don't think we've gone. Shall we go through the results? I think for the A final, even though we pretty much have already seen them. There it is. Salomon out on the top of the pros, Young top of the pro-ams, and Dumbele top of the AMs. Amazing results for all of those winners. Let's get an interview with some of our drivers. Well, let's first up have an interview with Gabriel Salomon, who joins us now. Gabriel, well done. You've had some good race wins so far this season. You know, Bathurst was a good one, Watkins was a good one, Nordschleife was a good one. How does this rank in amongst those race wins?
It's the best one by far. Because, you know, back at Bathurst, yeah, sure, I beat Yanni, but he really had a bit more pace than I did at the point in the season. And well, if you ask me, the only reason that I won that was because he had so much ground to make up to me. But here in Heat 1, we were 1-2. In the final, we were 1-2. And I beat him both times. I'm over the moon. It's like the way that this season has evolved for me, like from joining this, thinking that if I was lucky, I'd be in the top 10. To now beating Michael Yanni, like one-on-one, it's amazing.
Absolutely, you should be very pleased with that one, because Yanni came at you, and you were of course initially you lost the position, but you were able to come back after that. I mean, how did it feel kind of chasing him down? Were you able to stay quite calm in the car? Because it seemed like those like lap and a half where you were behind him, you managed to stay right on his tail.
Yeah, so like on this track, like we saw at Spa, for example, you know, in the final at Spa where I lost my tires at the end, and I said that I couldn't turn, and that's, well, I explained that Roger got me at the end. It was the same here. It was super hard to be like in the lead of the race. Your car didn't have any turn-in. My car understeered like hell. So I was expecting Yanni to make a move pretty soon, because he's gonna have a lot of rotation in the car in the slipstream. Whereas I would have to like really force it in towards the apex. And I think he found out when he got past me how tough it really was to be in the lead, because he hadn't really tried it before. Like in the Heat 1, he was behind me the whole time, and he really just dropped in pace, because again, it's super hard to be in the front. And I set up a move and I made it stick, and it was incredible. It was such an amazing race. Also being able to go side by side with Michael Yanni, like through a lot of the corners and having a great battle. It's amazing.
Yeah, really was fantastic. Next up, we head to Imola, back to the extended race format. Have you had a chance to drive Imola in the official series so far this week, and what are your general feelings about that track?
Well, I haven't driven any officials yet, but I did last season, and I went from license A 3.3 to C 1.5 in one day. So my relationship with that track is not the best, but hopefully I'll make it work.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, Gabriel. It would be fantastic if you could round out the season on a high, and yeah, keep up the incredible form that yeah, you've been able to carry through the whole season, but particularly the last couple of rounds. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely. I'd like to thank Alton Motorsports, as always, for being there and supporting me. And I'd also like to thank you guys again. It's I really appreciate talking to you guys, and it's always nice to be in the commentary box. And lastly, I'd like to thank Michael Yanni for the great battle that we had, and for the great dialogue that we've had, and him helping me throughout the season with when I've had any questions. And he's been super nice and super polite, and really friendly. So I'd like to thank him for that too.
Excellent stuff. It's great to hear that Michael's been so helpful when it comes to your racing, and hopefully you two can have one last battle when it comes to Imola next time out. Thanks for joining us, Gabriel. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a good one, boys.
Gabriel Salomon, winner in Heat 1 and winner in the A final. Aaron, would you like to have a chat with Aidan Young?
May as well, seeming as well. There's no one else that seems to want to talk to us this week, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get a bunch of people in the final round next week. But Aidan, it's a pretty decent victory for you in the pro-ams in that final. A very chaotic A final by the looks of it. It did not look easy at all, and overall looked like a very chaotic day in general. Just talk us through what happened out there today.
I have no words for today, besides the fact that I'm just really happy that finally, after so long, I was able to win not just the heat race and my class, but also the feature. So, and I haven't won an ARA series race in like, I think six months or almost a year now. So it feels really good. But yeah, the A final and even the heat, it was definitely chaotic. So I had to kind of be careful about avoiding incidents and whatnot. But then obviously it's ARA, so there's a bit of aggressive drivers in here, so a little hard to do, but I managed to do it quite well, I think. Keep calm, keep my head, and then just drive and survive and finish the race.
We saw a lot of drivers today as well really struggling to actually overtake people, which I have to say I was a bit surprised at. Would you say that track position around here is really, really important to be able to hold on to those positions?
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I have a lot of Road America experience because I do like a lot of LMDH around this track, but hadn't really done it much in P-Cup. But I mean, I definitely enjoyed it in the P-Cup. It's definitely a fun combo, and yeah, with the draft and stuff, you definitely need to qualify good. You need to get with a good pack that's not going to be too aggressive, or to be like a karting race where if you're in mid-pack, then that's where all the carnage is. That's what's going to happen. You'll either be collected or you'll either get lucky and get through. Thankfully, I managed to get a okay qualifying position compared to the rest of my season, and then have a good heat race, and then just survived in the feature, which ultimately led to me winning the race, and just me being careful is what got me that, I think. But I definitely felt some pressure at some points with Albert and Leon. They definitely gave me a good race and good fight at the beginning, and not quite sure what happened to them after that. But it was fun racing them.
Yeah, it seemed like a really, really difficult race for most people out there. It was super chaotic. But Yeah, going into the final round of the season, we've got Imola next week, and of course, it's one of those 60-minute races. I think we asked Salam on this. What are your thoughts on Imola, as it can be a bit of a controversial track? Some people really love it, some people really hate it. I'm one of the people that really like it. I think it's one of the best tracks in the world. But how are you feeling towards it?
If I'm gonna be completely honest, Imola is not my favorite. I struggle to put a quali lap together around there. It's like, I think I'm about to do good. I get no off tracks. Next thing you know, off track. Well, lovely, lap gone.
Yes, it's not easy at all, and I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea. But I love it for that challenge that it can bring. But thank you for coming and talking with us, Aiden, and congratulations on that first place in Pro-Am. And well, do you want to thank anyone before we let you go?
Yeah, I would like to thank my friends for watching me, my dad for spotting me, and then my teammates for helping me during the race, trying to help me keep a cool head during the race and stay calm. And then my friend Matias Orwela from Team PGZ for also helping as well, spotting for me when my dad couldn't, and then just helping me overall get this result today.
Well, thank you, Aiden, and well, good luck for next week, and enjoy the victory.
Thank you.
Aiden Young, Pro-Am winner. I mean, he brings up a good point that, yeah, that was his first win in the Pro-Ams for a while. I mean, Koss and Payton sort of had a residency on that top step of the podium, and so Young had to wait a little while, and admittedly, you know, both of them had issues, but Young very much did deserve getting a race win at some point this season. I can give you an update, Aaron, about the points, and you were much more correct about the points than I was. I thought it would be a smaller margin, but actually, when it comes to the points, Koss will be leading by 35 points going into the final round. So it's not over. Like, mathematically, Koss could still lose because his drop score isn't within 35 points of the maximum score. So if Pennington wins, Koss I think needs to finish like P10 or something. So it could genuinely change. But Pennington needs something to happen to Koss and needs to be inspired for that final round of the championship. Also, I'm not sure if he's actually attending as well. So, you know, that might also hinder his progress. So, I think Koss is pretty much with one hand on the trophy now. And in the Teams Championship, just a quick update on that one, because that was going very close going into this round. Valkyrie X-Side, of course, we've got a Stadin Christensen. Good result for them tonight with a third and a fourth. They're even further ahead, and they're almost unassailable now in the team. So, those two will be confirmed next week, but we're going to the final round, I think, with a good idea of who our champions are going to be, Aaron.
Yeah, gotta say it's a bit of a shame, because it's been one of those seasons where the races themselves have been good, but we just haven't really had any championship fights, which is kind of annoying, because it would make it an even better season than it already is. I guess, like you said, yeah, the closest is that Pro-Am. Am's pretty much already settled. Pro is definitely already settled. So yeah, just bit of a shame that we don't really have too much going on championship-wise. But I mean, if something crazy happens to Koss next week and we get a close finish in that final round, then I'm all for it. And hopefully Pennington can have a bit of a redemption arc, and who knows what's going to happen. But like you said, it looks very likely that it's going to go to Igor Koss. And you have to say, with the consistency that he's had, I'd say that he's deserved it. You can't really argue against that.
Absolutely, yeah, he has been really strong with them on the upwards trajectory when it comes to competitiveness and iRacing, and I'm sure we'll see them back for many more seasons. But of course, we have still got one more round of this season, and that will be on next week on Apex Racing TV. And of course, yeah, do make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video in order to catch the next round of the championship. We've of course got many other races coming up on the channel over the next few days. We've got prototypes on Thursday. That is GTP cars at the Nordschleife, which is a car track combination that I'm really looking forward to. We've got Ray Esports. We've got Ray Esports as well coming up in the next few days. S1 Racing, GT3 Series, BRSCC Winter Esports Series. That's always a lot of entertainment. That's at Knockhill, actually. GT3 Trophy at Suzuka, Radical Esports Cup. Weekend Warriors, that's both in the Spec Racer Ford and the Formula Ford as well. So lots of broadcasts to check out on Apex Racing TV, and of course do check out the Apex Racing TV and the Apex Racing League, and also you may as well give out a check out of the Apex Racing Academy social media platforms as well. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Aaron Smith, and from Joshua Wilkie, we are going to say goodbye, and we'll see you back for the final round of Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup next week at Imola. See you then.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.